Welcome back to Life on Two Wheels. This is a new category of video blog. This is a hack, specifically a Post-it tab hack, or that's what I'm calling it. What you do is you fire up your favorite word processor and just print out on the page, spaced appropriately, and you'll see how specifically in a minute, the words that you want to use as tabs in a document, file, or book. Once you've done that, the next step is to print that page. So here's where that page comes out of the printer, right over here. You just put that. We'll just put that page down on the desk. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Post-its. And so Post-its, scissors, and we're going to put the Post-it on top of what we printed. So there's the first word, and you don't have to be exact, but you want to get the glue, maybe move it up a little bit. You want to make sure that the gluey part of the Post-it is above the word. I can see the word there. And then you see how this covers that word, so we're just going to trim off the bottom of the Post-it to make sure that it doesn't get in the way. And then we're going to put a Post-it similarly on that one there, like that, and trim off the bottom of this Post-it. It's a little bit easier when you work with those smaller Post-its. You don't end up having to trim your Post-its off. And then we're just going to do the last one. And about like that should do it. Don't need to trim this off because it's not covering anything underneath. And then we take this sheet and we put it into the printer in the feed tray. You don't need to worry that those Post-its are gonna do anything terrible to your printer. And then we head over to back to the computer and print the page again. There it goes into the printer, and out it comes. And now the big reveal. You've got your words that you wanted printed on your Post-it notes. So then you peel this off. What you can do, and I highly recommend it, is get some Scotch tape and put Scotch tape over that print so that it protects it. And the paper will then have a tendency, see it's already curling. And what you do is you take some Scotch tape and you Scotch tape the back of the back of it as well to make sure that it's stabilized and doesn't tend to curl. Anyway, that's an additional step that I highly recommend. And when you do that, you got to make sure that you've positioned your Post-it so that let's say this word organized is well below the gluey thing on the back of the Post-it, which I didn't do. So then what you just need to do is trim this approximately like this. It's not critical. And trim it, let's say we'll trim it there. That's one. And we'll do this one. Trim, trim, trim. There's number two. Put that aside. Like I said, if you have those small little Post-its, it's a lot less wasteful and easier to manage than this, because you don't end up having to do anywhere near as much trimming. So there we have our Post-it tabs, and here we have, let's say, a book. And we'll say that this is the page that you're wanting to remember. So you take your Post-it note that you've trimmed and you you glue it onto the book. And there you go. You're organized. And then you can do the same thing with files. So here's a file, and we'll say that the document I'm looking at is this document. I put my Post-it here. If you want to make it permanent, you can even take a little bit of Scotch tape and put it over the Post-it to make sure that it doesn't fall away. And now you've got a Post-it tab in your file. Make it really, really easy. If you've got a file and you're often referring to 3 or 4 or 5 bits of paper in that file, and the file's rather thick, this will save you quite a lot of thumbing through a file. So there you have it. My simple Post-it tab hack. This little hack has saved me a lot of grief in my professional life, and perhaps it'll save you some grief in yours. Don't forget to click to like this video. Visit the blog, there's a link in the show notes where you'll find the touring guide, the gear guide, and so much more. See you next time on Life on Two Wheels.